Welcome, friends. Today we are going to focus on envisioning building a life doing what we love. It's possible to live your purpose, to walk in the one and only you, and to add value doing what lights you up. Let's begin by thinking about the conventional view of work, where the point of work is to make a lot of money, doing something practical, and the work should feel like work. The idea is that you make as much money as you can in your job. The maximizing money approach isn't necessarily wrong, but it can split our life into two main parts. Our realm of work, where we have 40 to 50 years making all of our money, and then our realm of passion, age 65 and up, where you get to do all the things you love in your retirement. While this works for some, many can experience anxiety and stress, feeling ailment on their mental health, and spilling into their relationships. Many of us experience burnout, occupational burnout, due to this, which can cause cardiovascular disease, many other health problems. So many people sacrifice their health to make money, then they sacrifice money to recuperate their health, and they're so anxious about the future that they don't enjoy the present. The result is that they don't really live in the present or the future. They live as if they're never going to die, and then die having never really lived. Now let's look at the opposite side, the idea that you should follow your passion no matter what. The maximizing passion approach works for some, but it also causes stress for others. Some say if you dedicate your life to your passion, you won't have to worry about how to make money. The world needs and wants the things that you're doing, well, then you won't have to worry. Here's the thing, with some of us, if we have to rely on our passion to bring in enough money to pay all our bills right away, this can cause pressure. And this can cause pressure in relation to our passion. And this is when passion leads to burnout. It's not that either of these approaches are wrong. They could just be incomplete. Do you really have to choose one or the other? Only you know what is right for you. So let's go into envisioning how you can build a life doing what you truly love. On the contrary of what we are programmed to do and what we've been taught to do, this will not require looking outside of ourselves. This will take self-reflection, introspection. We'll begin with an exercise to help answer this question for ourselves. Today we will complete the stage 1, envisioning. We will envision what your life could look like if it was built for you to do the things you love to do. Start to envision this version of yourself. How does he or she move? What does she look like? How does she feel? What does he look like? How does he feel? What would life truly feel like if you were moving in your bliss and adding value based on what you're born to do? Take a few more moments to just envision the physical and then internal aspect of what this would look and feel like. Now that we have a bit of an idea, question is, how do we even get there? How do I start to begin to know where to go to become this envisioned version of myself? We can start with step 1. We can make a list or think of a list of all the things that you love doing. Feel free to get out a pencil and a piece of paper. Start to jot this down, or just start to think about this in your mind. When you think of all of the things you love doing, you can start to think about the things that bring you joy, the things that you have deep curiosity about, the things that fill you with energy, where time flies when you're doing them. Don't limit yourself and don't judge any of your ideas at this point. Think of all of these things as if money were no object. Now, step 2, make a second list of all the things that you're good at. These are things that come naturally to you. What are the things that you have a lot of practice in? What do your friends and family often ask for your help with? Now, as you're thinking of this, a belief might come up that says, what if I'm not good at anything? What if I have no talents? And that's a great thought to examine, because many times the struggles that we have and the challenges that we go through bring about these talents. So as you also think of what are things that you're good at, what are challenges that you've overcome that have then built a skill set within you that is your state of being. Step 3, make a third list of all the ways you can think of and give value to someone else. These could be ways that you help them solve a problem. This could be closely related to what we just spoke of and the challenges that you've overcome. These could be ways that you help people do something more easily. This also will be something that either people want or need and they're willing to purchase. As you think about this list, look at all the things you've spent money on in the past. Think of the problems you've solved for yourself. Once you finish your 3 lists, list 1, the things that you love. List 2, the things that you're good at. List 3, the ways you give value. When you put all 3 of these together, this is your zone of bliss. These are the things that feel like play to you, but look like work to other people. This doesn't have to be one specific niche. You can combine everything that makes you you, and your spirit will be your brand. For example, Tim Ferriss is an author, podcaster, and an entrepreneur. You can combine several different interests and talents in a way that's unique to you. This is maximizing authenticity and alignment. This gives you a way of making stronger intuitive decisions because you're choosing between all the different possibilities that light you up, all the things you've overcome, all the ways you give value, and everything that makes you you. Joe Rogan is another example of this. Everything that you're curious about, everything that's made you feel alive, can become ways that you build a life doing what you love. You can ask yourself as you examine things in your life, will this move me closer to my zone of bliss, or will it move me further away? We often think of burnout as something that happens when we're overworked, overwhelmed, or when we don't have enough rest or recovery. But in the book Feel Good Productivity, A huge reason for burnout comes from misalignment. When we realize we've spent years or decades putting our energy into things that don't bring us joy or meaning. In the top 5 regrets of the dying, says, I wish I had the courage to live a life that was true to myself and not the life others expected of me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I'd left myself be happier. See, we can step out of the illusion of splitting our life into separate parts. Our work, our talents, our career advancement, our education, everything, every experience we've been through can all point to doing what we love. Continue this envisioning process and tune back in with me as we go into stage 2, exploration. The exploration stage, we will choose something inside of your zone of bliss and take one small bet that moves you closer to building the life you want. As you began envisioning this audacious vision of you where you want to be, and you think about where you are now, the one small step you are taking right now is finishing these 3 lists. Start to picture yourself in your zone of bliss. What does he or she look like? How does he or she move? What does he or she feel like? And start to step into these emotions. Authenticity is what enables you to stick with something for a long time. The tiniest step will move you toward building a life doing what you love. Becoming who you are is the privilege of a lifetime, and it's why we're here. So as you begin to wake each morning, what do you look like when you're building a life doing what you love? What's one small step that you can move toward to be living a life that you embrace and not escape? We're all in this together, my friends, and we can do this one small step at a time.